Listen to the following story. In this universe, in this continent known as Jambudvipa, there was a famous city by name Tatam, which was ruled by a king known as Vipashchit, which literally means learned or wise. Jambudvipa, I think we can take as the earth plane. His glory was indescribable. Even the court poets had exhausted all their talents without exhausting a description of his virtues. But they loved and enjoyed his company. He was fond of them and gave them lavish gifts every day. He was devoted to the brahmanas, the priests, and also to the fire, which he devoutly worshipped every day. He had 4 ministers who were zealously guarding his kingdom at its 4 boundaries. On account of their wisdom and valor, the king was victorious and unassailable. One day he was visited by a wise man from the east. He had harsh and unpleasant words for the king. He said, "O king, you have bound yourself hand and foot to this earth. Now listen to what I have to say and decide what to do. Your minister who was guarding the eastern side of your city is dead. The one guarding the south endeavored to cover the eastern side too, but he was overcome by the enemy. He too is dead. When the minister guarding the west rushed to the southern side, he was intercepted by the enemy and killed." As he was saying this, another man rushed into the court and announced that the minister guarding the north was at the palace gate. The king alerted his army and asked that the minister be brought in. The minister entered and saluted the king. He was weak and his breathing was laboured. He had been overpowered by the enemy on account of his weakness. He said to the king, "Lord, all the other 3 ministers have gone to the world of death to win that realm for you. Only you have the power to quell the enemy." In the meantime, yet another man entered the royal presence and reported, "Lord, the city has been completely surrounded by the enemy. Their weapons are seen everywhere. They are extremely powerful like demons. Their armor shines with a light equal to your own glory. Their armies are in excellent array. They are angry and their battle cries are fierce. The Lord of that army sent me to convey this news to you. Now do what is appropriate." After having conveyed this message, that man went away. Everyone in the king's army got ready for the battle with their arms and weapons uplifted. So that was 7. This king, very popular king, wise king, good ruler, good defences, and suddenly it's all come crashing down around him. Vasistha continued. In the meantime, all the ministers had assembled around the king. They counselled him thus, "Lord, we have duly considered the situation concerning our enemy. We have come to the conclusion that the 3 peaceful courses of dealing with the enemy are inappropriate in this case, and that only the 4th, punishment or violence, is adequate. In fact, we have not shown friendship or alliance with these enemies at any time before. Hence it is of no use now. Enemies who come under the following classification are not amenable to peaceful negotiation: sinners, barbarians, foreigners, they who are firmly united among themselves, as well as they who know our weakness very well. Therefore let there be no delay. Order general mobilization and preparation for a full-scale war." So clearly they're operating within certain principles. But given that the kingdom's defences have been so easily and quickly breached, it seems that this must be a very powerful enemy indeed. And yet the only course that is perceived is to engage them in battle. The king issued the necessary orders and sent the ministers to the battlefield, saying that he would soon join them after his customary worship of the sacred fire. He then had his bath and approached the sacred fire for worship. He prayed, "Lord, I have effortlessly overcome all my enemies so far and ruled this far-flung empire, exercising my sovereignty over many islands and continents. I held sway over many peoples, including demons, But now perhaps I have grown old. Therefore these my enemies have thought it fit to invade my territory. Lord, just as till now I have made different oblations to the sacred fire, today I shall offer my own head as oblation. I pray that out of this fire 4 powerful beings may emerge, like the 4 arms of Lord Narayana. So saying, the king cut off his head with the greatest ease, and the next instant his body fell into the fire along with his severed head. Out of that fire the king re-emerged as 4 radiant warriors of extraordinary radiance and vitality, and equipped with the very best of weapons of every description. It's not the most obvious course of action, is it? It was obvious that they could not be overcome by any warlike device that the enemy might adopt, whether it be missiles or mantras, drugs, etc. The enemy forces were advancing at the same time. There was a terrible battle. The sky was covered with smoke and also with missiles. Swords gleamed, revolvers emitted fire continuously. It was terrible to look at. There was a river of blood in which even elephants were borne down. Here and there 2 missiles collided in the sky, which was illumined by the light emitted by them. In the mind and the heart of every warrior there was only one thought: I should kill the enemy or be killed by him. The war was also bringing out the good and noble qualities in the people which were dormant till then. On the other hand, there was also extremely cruel behaviour. Here and there warriors killed even refugees and looted whatever they could. The people who were not directly involved in the war, the non-combatants, fled the place. The battlefield was filled with warriors, to whom the distinction between life and death had vanished.